Steve Jobs, an apple a day keeps mediocrity away. In a world defined by mediocrity, one man dared to challenge the status quo and redefine the boundaries of innovation. This is the story of Steve Jobs, the visionary genius who revolutionized the world of technology. Born on February 24, 1955 in San Francisco, Steve Jobs entered the world as the son of Joanne Schivel, a graduate student, and Abdul Fahat Jandali, who had fallen in love during their time at the University of Wisconsin. Sadly, they made the difficult decision to place their baby up for adoption. Eventually, Paul and Clara Jobs, a couple who had longed for a child, adopted the baby, whom they named Stephen Paul. When baby Jobs turned 2, his parents adopted a baby girl named Patty. Even as a young child, Jobs exhibited a lively and inquisitive nature, although his independent streak sometimes led to precarious situations. On 2 separate occasions, he required trips to the emergency room, once for striking a metal pin into an electric socket and burning his hand, and another time for accidentally ingesting poison. Steve Jobs' journey from a curious child to a technological genius was characterized by his relentless pursuit of innovative ideas and commitment to pushing boundaries in a world that would soon bear witness to his transformative impact. These early experiences and formative years would shape the visionary leader he would become. Jobs had a clear understanding of his adoption even as a young child. He once said that when he was around 6 years old, he told a little girl who lived across the street that he was adopted. He recalled that she asked if his real parents had rejected him. This question struck a chord deep within Jobs, and he said he ran home in tears. But his parents, Paul and Clara, always made sure he felt secure and loved. He fondly recalled, "I've always felt special. My parents made me feel special." Jobs' father had a strong interest in fixing up old cars. His attention to detail was remarkable, as he would pay close attention to even the tiniest parts that others might overlook. He took pride in ensuring that everything was just right, even if it couldn't be seen easily. Despite not sharing the same enthusiasm for automobiles, he eagerly joined his father on trips to the local junkyard. Together, they would search for specific spare parts, and Jobs was captivated by his father's dedication and meticulous approach. He admired how Paul always wanted to do things correctly, even when it came to the smallest, often unnoticed elements. Growing up in Silicon Valley's technological epicenter, young Jobs was surrounded by great engineers, including a neighbor called Larry Lang, who would become a crucial influence in his life. Over the next few years, Larry became a mentor to Jobs, introducing him to the fascinating world of electronics. He opened Jobs' eyes to health kits, remarkable kits that came with detailed instructions for building items like televisions and radio equipment. These kits not only taught Jobs about how things worked, but also instilled in him the belief that even complex devices like televisions and radios could be studied and understood. While Jobs' mother, Clara, had instilled in him the gift of reading even before he started kindergarten, his academic journey faced challenges in the classroom. Jobs attended Monta Loma Elementary School, conveniently located just 4 blocks from his home. In those early years, he found himself growing bored and often resorted to mischievous antics to keep himself entertained. Jobs' thirst for knowledge often clashed with the traditional education system, leading to acts of rebellion. His partner in crime and best friend, Rick, were a dynamic duo of troublemakers. Once they concocted an outrageous plan by advertising a fictional Bring Your Pet to School Day, resulting in chaos as dogs chased cats throughout the school. Another time, Jobs let a snake loose in the classroom, and then he set off a small explosion under the teacher's chair. By the end of 3rd grade, Jobs had been sent home from school several times. His parents didn't punish him, though. They thought it was partly the school's fault. Jobs was misbehaving because he wasn't being challenged in class. Jobs said that he was always being asked to memorize stupid stuff. The upside of getting into trouble so often was that he became really good at solving problems and becoming extremely curious about everything. These qualities would play a big role in shaping his future. But being bored was only part of the problem. Jobs also had a strong dislike for authority and hated being told what to do. Luckily, in 4th grade, he had a teacher who understood him. Mrs. Hill started by bribing Jobs to do math problems. But before long, he was enjoying learning and wanted to please her. "I learned more from her than any other teacher," Jobs said. "If it hadn't been for Mrs. Hill," he admitted, "I'm sure I would have gone to jail." Recognizing Jobs' need for intellectual stimulation, Mrs. Hill suggested that he skip 2 grades. Although Jobs' parents felt that skipping 2 grades was too much, they eventually agreed to let him move up from 4th to 6th grade, resulting in a transfer to a different school. At Crittenden Middle School, Jobs faced a considerably tougher environment. With frequent fights and a year's age difference compared to his classmates, this age gap made him a target for bullying, and he found it challenging to fit in. His 6th grade report card indicated difficulties with motivation. By the middle of 7th grade, Jobs had reached his breaking point. One day, he returned home and firmly declared that he refused to go back to that school. Sensing their son's distress, his parents made a significant decision. They scraped together the necessary funds and purchased a home in Los Altos, a few miles away, known for its superior schools. In 9th grade, Jobs enrolled at Homestead High School, which boasted a well-equipped electronics class led by a passionate teacher named Mr. McCollum. However, Jobs' rebellious attitude and aversion to authority clashed with his teacher. Mr. McCollum recollected that Jobs would often isolate himself, engrossing in his own projects, seemingly uninterested in both the teacher and his classmates. Despite his genuine love for electronics, Jobs eventually dropped the course. Nevertheless, outside the confines of school, Jobs began to associate with like-minded individuals who shared his interests. He became a member of the Explorers Club at Hewlett-Packard, where his mentor, Larry Lang, worked. Gathered in the cafeteria, engineers would enlighten the students about their groundbreaking projects, discussing topics like lasers, holography, and such. For Jobs, it was a slice of heaven. It was within the walls of HP that he encountered his first computer, an encounter that sparked an enduring love affair. Jobs said, "I fell in love with it," marking a significant turning point in his journey. After graduating from high school in 1972, Jobs enrolled at Reed College in Oregon, but dropped out after just one semester. In the summer of 1974, he took a break from his studies and traveled to India to explore Eastern religions. Upon returning, he joined a computer club in 1975. It was there that he met Steve Wozniak, who had remarkable electronic skills and was working on building a small computer at the time. Jobs became intrigued by the marketing potential of such a computer and recognized the untapped market for personal computers. Despite their 5-year age difference, the two Steves formed a unique bond. In 1976, at the age of 21, Jobs and Steve Wozniak took a bold step and established the Apple Computer Company. With only $1,300 in startup funds from selling Jobs' microbus and Wozniak's calculator, they began selling circuit boards while simultaneously working on the computer prototype. Initially operating from Jobs' bedroom, their enterprise eventually found a home in the Jobs' family garage. Within just 2 years, the duo's relentless efforts had propelled them to earn over $1 million. By the time Jobs turned 25, his entrepreneurial ventures had amassed a fortune of over $250 million. Realizing that computers were becoming smaller and more powerful, Jobs and Wozniak redesigned their computer intending to sell them to individuals. The Apple II was introduced in 1977 and achieved remarkable sales of 2.7 million in its first year. Within 3 years, Apple's sales skyrocketed to 200 million, establishing them as pioneers in the personal computer market and revolutionizing the way information was processed. As more competitors entered the market, Apple faced the challenge of staying ahead and improving its product. They introduced the Apple III in 1980, but it encountered technical and marketing issues, leading to its withdrawal and later rework. Throughout this period, Steve Jobs remained the driving force behind Apple's marketing. In 1983, he unveiled the Lisa, a computer designed for users with minimal computer experience. However, due to its higher price compared to competitors' personal computers, it did not sell well. Apple's primary competitor at the time was IBM, and by 1983, Apple had lost a significant portion of its market share to the giant company. Apple introduced the Macintosh, or Mac, in 1984, which featured a graphical user interface and a mouse. However, it faced tough competition from personal computers running Microsoft software, resulting in relatively lower sales. Consequently, Jobs was ousted from Apple by the board of directors in 1985. Unfazed, Jobs went on to establish Next, a new computer company, and also acquired Pixar, a renowned maker of computer-animated movies. Jobs' involvement with Pixar resulted in the creation of the beloved animated film Toy Story. Needless to say that Pixar's extraordinary achievements propelled Jobs to billionaire status. By the mid-1990s, Apple was in a state of decline. Recognizing the need for change, Jobs was invited back to assume leadership in 1997. Through his visionary approach, Jobs revitalized Apple with the introduction of iconic products like colorful iMac computers and cutting-edge laptops, effectively rescuing the company. In 2001, Jobs also revolutionized the music industry with the launch of the iPod. which swiftly became the dominant portable music player. Then, the groundbreaking iPhone was unveiled in 2007, combining phone capabilities with internet access, music playback, and more. Apple further expanded its product lineup in 2010 with the introduction of the iPad, a highly sought-after tablet computer. Back in 1989, Jobs met his future wife at Stanford Business School, where he had gone to give a lecture. Laureen Powell was pursuing an MBA degree at the time. Interestingly, Powell arrived late for the lecture and subsequently had a front-row seat. One thing led to another, and the couple eventually married on March 18, 1991. Powell and Jobs had 3 children together. Before marrying Powell, Jobs had a daughter named Lisa Brennan Jobs with his girlfriend, Kristen Brennan, on May 17, 1978, when he was just 23 years old. Initially, Jobs denied paternity and even claimed to be sterile in legal documents. However, in her memoirs titled Small Fry, Lisa revealed that DNA tests conducted in 1980 confirmed Jobs as her biological father. As a result, he was legally required to provide financial support to Lisa and her mother, who were facing financial difficulties. It wasn't until Lisa turned 7 years old that Jobs initiated a relationship with her. Over time, Lisa came to live with her father during her teenage years. In 2011, Jobs expressed remorse and acknowledged his past mistakes, stating, "I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of, such as getting my girlfriend pregnant when I was 23, and the way I handled that." In 2003, Steve Jobs received a diagnosis of neuroendocrine tumor, which is a rare form of pancreatic cancer that can be treated through surgery. Rather than opting for immediate surgery, instead, Jobs chose to modify his diet to a pesco-vegetarian and considered alternative Eastern treatment approaches. Despite concerns from Apple's board of directors, Jobs postponed the surgery for 9 months. The executives were apprehensive that the disclosure of Jobs' illness could lead to shareholders withdrawing their stock. However, Jobs prioritized maintaining confidentiality over the need to inform shareholders. Nevertheless, he remained at the helm of Apple until 2011. On October 5, 2011, Steve Jobs passed away in Palo Alto, California. His remarkable journey, filled with triumphs and challenges, has left an indelible mark on the world. His visionary spirit and passion for innovation continue to resonate, urging individuals to challenge mediocrity and strive for excellence. Steve Jobs' legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us to embrace curiosity, think differently, and strive for greatness in a world often defined by mediocrity. The impact of his work from Mac computers to iPhones and iPads has transformed industries and redefined what is possible. His unwavering belief in the power of technology to shape the future has undoubtedly changed the world. His legacy lives on in the countless lives his inventions have touched and in the continued pursuit of innovation by those inspired by his example. As we move forward, may we remember Steve Jobs as a true pioneer, always pushing the boundaries of what is possible and reminding us that an apple a day keeps the mediocrity away. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and share, and keep watching our channel for more interesting and informative content. And good luck!